Hi everybody and welcome to the iCaterpie channel. Last weekend I ended second in the Cannes special premiere event, so today I decided to share with you the list and all the secrets behind the Regigigas UPA that I played. But first, let's hear the theme song. So here we are with the list, but first things, this is the first video that I made in English and English is not my mother language, so please be patient. I want to change language because a lot of you just ask me the list and information about that, so I want to make this video all the best clear possible to a lot of people understand this. So there are a lot to explain, so try to follow me. This is the list. Regigigas and UPA are of course the main character of the deck, but more important are the Pokemon that support all of these things. Regigigas 180 HP. It's not important the ability and the attack because I never use it. I just need one prize basic Pokemon with a lot of HP to tank basically everything in this format. And Regigigas with the Ancient Crystal that this is the Ancient Crystal, so you can reduce all the damage done to Regigigas by 30 damage. So basically the Regigigas has 210 HP. It's huge for a basic Pokemon. And UPA, it's not so big, but its ability prevents all the effect and attack, including the damage done to this Pokemon by your Pokemon GX, no more EX. So Regigigas and UPA in this format basically made all the things, because if you play a deck with a lot of GX, you just need to play UPA. There are a lot of non-GX attacker, but with all the supporter you can still handle the situation. We will see every matchup 1-for-1, so let's just present the Pokemon right now. Shackle's GX is very useful against deck like Lost March, Granbull, and even Zapdos, but Zapdos play Coco Prism and GX, so I don't really want to use that against. Because why is so important? Because its ability prevents all damage to this Pokemon by attack from your opponent's Pokemon that has 2 or fewer energy attack. So the strongest Pokemon in Granbull and Jumpluff attack with just 1 energy, so this Pokemon is perfect. Actually, in this meta there are no more Granbull or Jumpluff, so I never really use it in my last tournament. Girafarig, get lost. The first attack is the reason because this Pokemon is in the deck. There are a lot of deck that make all the strategy with some cards in the discard pile. So with the get lost, you just remove 2 cards from our opponent discard pile into the lost zone. And if Malamar, Zapdos or some other Pokemon doesn't expect it, it can make really damage. Durant. Before this tournament I always test this deck with unknown end, but Judge Whistle, Marshadow, basically my opponent most of the time made me never reach the 35 cards, and there are a lot of cards for the victory, so I just change. Basically unknown and Durant are just a way to win when my opponent has no more resources in the deck, so it can just draw and pass for a lot of time. So I want unknown to win, and in the same way I want Durant to win. You can of course in your deck knock over, but the Monad Munch is amazing. Actually in my tournament during the 9 turns of Swiss, 4 of them just won thanks to Durant, so if my opponent doesn't expect it, it can just completely change the sort of the game. And I left it for last but not least, because Lugia, it's just amazing. Lost Ptcgo. Why I chose to start with Gx? Because this Pokemon is inside the deck just for the Gx, basically. Put your opponent's Pokemon and all the cards attacked into the Lost Zone. We just need an DC and a counter gain, because I never made any prize, so I just want to double colorless and counter gain are 3 energy. That's all I need for the Lost Purge. And this card is so important because there are many cards that are annoying for this deck. For example, one Pokemon with a lot of energy, or Mach, or a lot of Pokemon like that. So almost in every game I use it because I just want to Lost Purge something. Energy. I always draw 2 energy because in this deck there are so few energy. 2 DC because I want to use 1 for Durant and 1 for Lugia, basically, or 2 times Durant. It depends on the situation. And 2 Metal Energy. Why 2 Metal Energy? Because with the combo from Mount Coronet and Plumeria, I always have cards to discard. Plumeria, discard 2 cards from your hand, then you can choose 1 energy attack to one of your opponent's Pokemon and discard it. I always discard the energy, so Mount Coronet, once during your turn you can just recover 2 basic metal energy from your discard pile. So I discard it, recover, discard it, recover. So I can always have cards for make Plumeria, and it's very cool because most of the other cards I don't wanna discard it. All the other stuff, you can see 46 trainer in this deck, because I want to make most annoying as possible against everything. Counter Catchen. Like I said, I never take any prizes, so I always wait and wait. So most of the time I just want that my opponent take any prize, so I can use my Counter Catchen and Counter Gain. Counter Catchen, if you have more prize than your opponent, you can just switch one of the basic benched Pokemon with the active Pokemon. So it's like the old catcher, but you have to lose to use it. Enhanced Hammer. I play control deck since a while, and I tested a lot. In my first version of it, there are also the Crushing Hammer, but I don't use it anymore because a coin flip for a trainer that I can't recover, it's not worth it. So I just play 3 Enhanced Hammer, 1 Faba, 2 Plumeria, and 1 Team Skull Grunt. Enhanced Hammer discard the special energy, and they are amazing against Zoroark and Zapdos, Buzzwole, basically against all the deck who play special energy, because I can use Enhanced Hammer and a support during my turn. Faba, just 1 pair, 1 copy of Faba. Why? Because I used to play 2 copy of Faba, but in this format there are no more Zoroark control or Zoroark deck who actually run the Oranguru for the resource management, so I just need to discard it. Most of the time they can't recover that energy, so Faba, you can choose 1 tool card, special energy and Stadium in play, and remove it. It's a very cool card, but in this format Enhanced Hammer are just enough. Plumeria and Team Skull Grunt. Team Skull Grunt, it's almost a random card, but it could be devastating, absolutely. Your opponents reveal their hand, so it's just cool because you can see what your opponents are playing. Discard 2 energy that you find it. In most situation, a very lot of situation, if you play this card, you can just change the game, and you have to have a good instinct to play it, because you always want to play the right support in your turn, and if you just miss a turn in this deck, it could be very very bad. So this is the destruction engine. So let's see now the healing engine. It's kinda easy. 4 Mox Potion and 4 Acerola. When you're playing against some deck with special energy, so you can always discard it, or some deck with a lot of GX inside, you just want to take time, because more time you take, more you become stronger, and less resources remain in the opponent's deck. So just wait. 2 Nest Ball. I just decided to play 2 Nest Ball the night before the tournament, because I just had the Bills analysis from the team up. Bills say, look at the top of your look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal 2 trainer. So I thought, of course I want to use Bill for looking for a Steven, but I thought I can use Bill to looking for some Nest Ball if I need a basic Pokemon, especially in the beginning of the match. So I just add 2 Nest Ball, and I kinda like it. 1 Rescue Stretcher. 1 Rescue Stretcher because there are some situation, and we will see it, when you want to use 2 Upa, you want to lost 2 Upa and then recover it. One of these situation is against Ptcgo. I never imagined that Coco Prism can attack, but without it in the situation, Zapdos need 2 Electro Power to kill one of your Upa, so they run 4. So 2 Electro Power, 1 Upa, 2 Electro Power, 1 Upa. If you just recover it with the Rescue Stretcher and take it back, you have 2 new Upa, and you will never knock it up. Of course, now I need something against a Coco Prism, but without it, it's kinda cool strategy. Montlan Aquila. The retail cost of each basic Pokemon in play is 1 more. I don't care about it, because I will never retreat my Pokemon, but Zapdos Jirachi can suffer it. 1 Mont Coronet, 1 Shine of Punishment. Why? There are a lot of situations like Blacephalon or Picacrom or something like that, Decidueye. You just want to win the game, taking prize, actually knocking out the GX Pokemon of our opponent. So you just need to take time, and the Shrine in combo with the Lusamina that put 2 any combination of supporter and Stadium from your discard pile into your hand, so you can just have infinity Shrine of Punishment, and there will be a point where your opponent can't just discard it anymore, so it can just take damage and damage until his GX Pokemon will be knocked out. Wondrous Labyrinth Prism. This is another card from Team Up that I choose to add into my deck. The attack of non-fairy Pokemon costs 1 more. Actually, it's a very situational card, because you can just run 1 card. You can just play it 1 times. So you have to be so sure that your opponent has no more Stadium cards in play, because when your opponents discard it, this is a Prismark, so you have to remove it from the play. So it's amazing against Zoroark, Zapdos, Losmarsh, but all of this deck play 1 or more Stadium, so the Montlan Aquila is inside because you want to try to make something annoying against your opponent, to force it to play a Stadium, so you can use the Labyrinth then. 2 Cynthia, 1 Titeliza. Basically, these supporters are inside against the Judge and the Marshadow, because Judge and Marshadow completely destroy this deck. So I want to have something to draw after then, and I don't want just ooh, 4 cards, yeah, I lost. No, I just want to take some consistency in the deck. Also, you can use the Titaliza in combo to use the Lugia GX and switching your active Pokemon if you want to just put in the lost on the active Pokemon you open. So it's very cool. Gladion, 2 copy of Gladion. Why 2 copy of Gladion? Because I don't take any prize. I think I already said it 3 times, but I don't take any prize with the deck. So if something useful is in my prize, I can't take it except with Gladion. I can use it and switch this Gladion with 1 card of my prize. So I can just do this, and it's very useful. Lusamine is probably the most important card in this deck. You can see that they ban it from expanded deck, so until I can't play it anymore, and probably it's from Crimson Invasion, so this will happen probably the next year. I will play always in my control deck because it's just amazing. I can completely use all of my stadium and the supporter in my deck as many times as I want, so it's just amazing. Steven Resolve. I have to admit that the first time I saw this card, I didn't realize how strong it could be in a control deck. Why? Because I never attack, basically. So I always want to look into my deck 3 cards that I want. So this is the effect of the cards. Looking for your deck for 3 cards that you want and take it in your hand. And there are no words to describe, it's just too strong. Transcend Crystal, 1 counter gain. If I'm losing, so my opponent has less price than me, I can attack with 1 less energy. And this is all the cards that I have in the deck. There are something more to say about this. I faced against after the Oceania International 4 deck: Zapdos, Zoroark, Ptcgo, and Malamar. And the matchup are very important. What I mean? I mean that if you play the deck in a way, you can win. If you just set your game wrong at the beginning, they are so hard. This is one of the deck. This is one of the most difficult deck I ever played, because with Steven and you always have to choose perfectly the cards who take and the cards to play. One wrong thing, it could just be too difficult to repair. This is the list. Now I will play some games, and during this game I will explain you all the matchup and all the situation that we have to face against with this deck. Here we are, ready for some match. The thing is, I expected to play against mostly the same deck that I faced against in Cannes last weekend. So I don't think I can play a lot of game, because this deck is incredibly slow, and I don't wanna make a 3-hour video. So I think the best things is just play a couple games and meanwhile explain the matchup against the other deck. So I play against something metal, psychic, and lighting. So I actually have one of the better start I can have. So Regigigas, it's a very big Pokemon to have, one of the perfect start, and a Steven Resolve. Especially in the start, one of the cards I always want is another Steven Resolve. Then I don't know what my opponent are playing, so just take as many basic Pokemon as possible. Why? Because most deck play cards that can disrupt my hand, like Judge, End, or Marshadow. So I don't wanna be Donk. So Regigigas and Upa play. I just want to make sure to keep playing even after something that destroy my hand. What about the matchup? The matchup against Zapdos, Jirachi, the Schultz version, so with Buzzwole, Rainbow Energy, it's one of the easiest matchup for me, because except for the Electro Power, and if I have a Regigigas with the Ancient Crystal attack, a Zapdos can't kill me even with 4 Electro Power, because 80 damage plus 120 is 200 damage, but I have 210 HP thanks to the Ancient Crystal, so I'm not afraid at all about Zapdos. So this is probably one of the easiest matchup I can face against. My opponent just concede, maybe that was the deck I was talking about. The thing is, Zapdos Buzzwole has very few energy, so I just have to discard with Hammer, Rescue, Team School Grunt, Plumeria, and all other things I have in my deck. The very few energy that he have, then when he finally come out with the Coco Prisma to recover some energy, I just have to play Lugia to remove it, and the game is done. Against the Ptcgo, I played 6 times in the last tournament against Gustavo Wada, and I lost 6 times. The funny fact is, I never imagined that the matchup was so hard for me, because when I test, it never happens that someone use the Coco Prism like a real attacker to knock out my... Oh, interesting, Venusaur. To knock out my Upa. So basically he always have an answer to each Pokemon I can put active. So if I came active with Regigigas, he just knock out with Zekrom. If I came out with Upa, he just knock out with Upa. So it was a very easy game for him. I will handle it in future. What about the Malamar? Malamar is actually an interesting matchup. It's very hard. Why? The reason behind this is it's very simple. He can just recover the energy every time he want. So what I really want to do is remove it with Girafarig and Lugia. So if I can took it out one Malamar with Catcher and discard some energy and use Girafarig, even one energy could be enough, because Lugia just lost Purge one of the Giratina of my opponent, so it's actually a good matchup for me. Only if my opponent doesn't know how to play. Why? Because if he play Marshadow, the matchup is completely different, and is completely bad for me, for the easiest reason. He can just destroy my hand many times as he want, because he can attack with Giratina, knock out his Marshadow, and just do it again a lot of time. Why? Because he usually play 2 rescue Stretcher, so he can just hey, Marshadow, and just most of the time one Marshadow is enough. But no, Marshadow, so rescue Stretcher, another Marshadow, rescue Stretcher, another Marshadow, Acerola, another Marshadow. So it's very hard matchup if they play Marshadow. It's a very easy matchup if they doesn't play. So it's just interesting. I'm playing against Celebi Venusaur. I have no idea what can he do against me. I'm not scared at all because he can't kill my Yupa. It's a GX, so okay. Let's just Steven. Let's just Steven for Hammer. If I have an energy, yes. And did I have Lusamine? No. I prefer the Faba. Why? Another easiest reason. He has a GX attack, so he can he can shuffle all the cards from his discard pile into his deck. So if I remove it, he can do that. So I want to use Faba on all the DC I can see, and then just Plumeria. But I think my opponent will consider soon. I prevent the effect, so this is a very easy matchup for me. When or if you will ever decide to play this deck, you discover yourself to some very easy situation. You can always win or always lost. Why I talk about that? Because if your opponent actually has an answer, there's nothing more you can do. So Rayquaza, Malamar, there's no answer to that. I take Lugia. Why I take Lugia? I'm thinking that my opponent is attacking a lot of energy to that Venusaur because I don't know, wasting time. So what happens if I just remove it from the game? I don't think he can do anything in this game, so I will always win this. And these things happen in a lot of game. Oh, so cute, shaming. So, Lugia, counter gain, DC, Telepath, switch. Exchange the stadium too. Lost Purge. Easy. This is one of the biggest jigs we can use in this deck. I know that a lot of that version, I don't like that version. A lot of for a lot of time the many control deck play something like Articuno. It's okay, but Lugia is better. So many times to prefer. How can I win this in a short time? With Durant. So you already have 1 and 4 energy gone, so Rescue Stretcher, I take a Pokemon, and I choose Durant. Okay, GG. So, we're talking about Malamar, Zapdos, and Ptcgo. Let's talking about one of the last game we can face. It's Zoroark. What about Zoroark? I won against 5 Zoroark in the last tournament, and I always play every game in the exactly same way. I just start with Regigigas, Upa, so my opponent has to play Mach if he want to knock out my Upa. So, oh my god, what a bad start. Okay, so in the first match, most of the time I won because I just discard all of the energy of my opponent. Sometimes I was lucky because their judge can really bother me, but in some way I just came out of the difficult situation, and apparently good, because I always find a way to discard any energy. And the first game usually ended after a long way of time. So, oh, so cute. So I just want to know two things. How many energy does he play? This is a very important things to know. And if he plays switch or something similar. Why? Because most of the deck Zorak I faced against doesn't play switch. They just play the Rainbow Energy and Acerola if they are stuck some way. So in the second game, in the first game, I just discard the energy. Every energy I face, just discard. Hammer, Faba, Plumeria. They play very few energy, just 8, sometimes 9, but they are never enough. So in the first game, the strategy is just understand if they discover if they play switch or not, and discard the energy. In the second one, if I can, of course, I just want to stay active with one Pokemon. Regigigas is the better one, and Gutsma the Grimmer. Just one Pokemon and Gutsma the Grimmer. Why? Because Grimmer has a retreat cost so much high. 3 is so much high. So I just want to wait, because if I don't play any benched Pokemon, they can't use Gutsma. So the only way they have to retreat that Grimmer are two. Hoping in the Acerola and Rainbow Energy combo, but with just one Rainbow Energy it's counterable, because I have School Grunt, so I always know when they have it. Or attack 3 energy to retreat. Both things are good for me because they waste time and energy, so they never can put energy over the Grimmer, because you can't have a Grimmer active and attack energy to Zorak. It's a party for me. I just hammer, and I destroy you. So the best strategy for them is attack 1 energy to Grimmer with a lot of Zorak in the bench and judge me. But when I'm in that situation, I just use one Judge and always I just use one Steven and always Lusamina, Team Skull Grunt, because I always want to know when you have the energy, and most of the time the first game finish in a very long time, so I just have to wait. This is the 4. I can't win this game. Articuno, as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, whenever you open play a support a card from your hand, prevent all the effects that random to bench a Pokemon. So I can do nothing. Quagsire just move the energy, Blastoise can search the energy. This is one of the deck that I can never win. This one, Rayquaza, I don't know if there are any other deck like this who can just take a lot of energy. The things around control deck is basically one: the resources. Do you have enough resources to win the game? Yes, no. If you have to, like this one, it's not a game. My personal best advice is always concede if you are in a big tournament and go to it something. If you have to play 9 rounds and you are against some deck that you can just win, and mate, it happens. So just take a break, do lunch, eat something, just close your eyes and prepare it for the next game. Actually, this is the advice I can give it to you after all of my experience, and don't just throw it, because I think it's a good advice. it's not useful just spend a lot of time and a lot of mental energy to just reach something that you can have. So just do that. So this is my third game. In my first 2 games I have Steven, in the other 2 I don't have it, and this is basically the things around the control deck. If you have Steven, you can do something in your game. If you don't have it, damn, it's so hard. Attack energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. That's not funny. And I have nothing. I don't know how to make a control deck more consistent than what I already done. I actually play 4 Steven, 4 build analysis, 2 Cynthia, 1 Tetraza. Actually there are 11 supporters. So in most of the time the deck is not so bad. I just need 1 supporter to start and I can most of the time manage the situation. But if not, there's nothing you can do. I think play a control, it's a difficult choice. Why? For a very easy reason. This is control deck. I don't know if you want to say control, stall, or I don't know how do you want to call it, okay? But I think control deck are they are not Zoroark. They don't have Jirachi. You just have to. You can play just to counter your opponent. Okay, so you can just wait. if you are playing against someone that does nothing and it doesn't have nothing, you can win because you want to win that, finish his resource. Just this is your strategy. This is your best strategy. So, oh, so cute. So he just wanted to full blitz to charge the Coco, I think. Yeah, and this is what Gustavo done against me. Not the Raikou. Why the Raikou? That's no sense. Okay. This one retreat 3. So I think I say everything about the control deck. Of course, I changed the list. You can. This is the third video I make about this deck because I like it. I really like it, and I think this kind of deck can actually do something in this meta. And electro power, perfect. So I always update my list because meta always changing. Before last weekend, no one expected a control deck. This is basically the reason behind my results. So even from the next weekend, I expected that more people should be prepared to face against a control. So I just want to update, always try to understand what is what are the deck that can beat me, what is the Pokemon that can bother me, and keeping update the list. As you can see, I play Girafarig and wow. As you can see, I play Girafarig and Shackle. Why? Because they are Pokemon that can help in some old situation. Like I say, Shackle is a good card against Lost March and Grumble in past, so I use that a lot. Now they are both deck that no one saw them, and attack with Raikou, it's a stupid strategy. Attack with the Coco Prisma, it's a good strategy, so I need to find something against that card. So I don't know what is the better solution. I of course I will try to looking for something. Oh my god, what is this? Malamar, maybe. Okay, so playing online is not the best test you can do with this deck, because a lot of people don't like to play against this deck, and a lot of people don't like just test against this deck. So a lot of game they just concede before the time, or you just faced against some deck like the Blastoise before that you will never face against in a real tournament. So my advice is try to understand what is good from the tests you played and what is not. So this is a good test. My opponent is playing Ultra Necrozma with Malamar, Jirachi, Giratina. The electric type is Tapu Koko, the promo. So this is actually a cool list. The thing is, did he play Marshadow? That is the real question. Because if he don't play Marshadow, I can handle the game. This is a difficult, very difficult matchup, but if he doesn't play Marshadow, I can handle it. If you play Marshadow, and if you play Marshadow properly, oh, it's very hard. Viridian Forest. This is one of the best combo that ever created for this deck. Girachi, Viridian Forest, just find all the energy you need. Absolutely awesome. So I have to survive. I'm not sure I will. So I have to play Durant in the bench. Actually, this is a misplay. You don't need to Jirachi. This is a bad misplay, because the only one place now that he have in the bench, he can play Giratina or Marshadow. So what happens if I play Upa? Okay, Labyrinth. I don't need this card against this deck. So 1, 2. One, two. Three. Like I said before, I don't wanna be Donk. Never. Especially against the Malamar. So let's see. I don't know if he decides to recover the Giratina or play the Marshadow. If we play Marshadow now, I can take a Steven in that 4 card. I won the game, because Malamar knocked me out my Upa in 3 times because of resistance, so it can't be a problem at all. I know he play Acerola, so I don't want to play the Shrine in this matchup. Why? I can't win with prize in this game, so I don't wanna give him a chance to take it back, this Necrozma. And the new list, most of the new list of Necrozma play very few energy, very few metal energy. So, whoa, he play another Inkai. Okay, this is exactly what you have not to do against a control deck. Upa, how can you face against Upa in this situation? Okay. Of course, another Upa. And basically, I can just do whatever I want now. So, I don't expect it that he play, I don't know, Judge. I don't expect Judge. So, he doesn't have any chance to shuffle my hand, to destroy my game. This second Jirachi is a mistake. The third Inkai is a worse mistake. So if you're playing against a control deck, notice that you need Marshadow and Giratina. Without that, you can't win. You maybe it doesn't seem because you say, hey, you play control, you have nothing, how can you win this? The thing is, if I play 2 Upa, how can you win this? Because I can always take Acerola and Lusamina, and Acerola and Lusamina, and Acerola and Lusamina. I can do that for 50 minutes. I can do that. It's boring, I know. It's annoying, maybe. But I can do that. And what you can't do is... what you can easily do is finish your deck. Basically, I don't know if you prefer to say that it's a control deck, a stall deck, a meal deck, I don't know. I just call it Regigigas, so it's easy. But I can do all of these things. Sure, knock me out. I want that. I want that he knocked me out. He already played 2 escape board here. So... Upa. Counter catch. Steven. Counter catch. Counter catcher. Steven. Energy. Okay. Why I take these cards? Of course I expect he has Gutsma, Switch, a lot of way. What I really want now that he kills my Durant. I want that he wastes more time to take prizes. I don't want that he start to attack me with Malamar. So just do stuff, please. Draw more cards. Please play Ultra Ball. I understand this is a perfect situation against most deck. So if you just have this situation against I don't know, Zapdos, Zorak, you can choose the better one. I know, I understand it. It's a good solution, but not against this. Control deck are not like the other one. You just have to play smart or you lose it. In the same way, if I make a mistake, I can lose the game. You are in the same, we are in the same level. You can't, you really can't play bad against a control deck. Okay. Upa. Counter catch. Steven. What I'm gonna take with Steven? 1, 2, 3. he can take it back the psychic energy as many times as he wants, but if I discard all the metal energy, at some point he just have no more way to attack with the Necrozma, and Durant is resisting to Psychic too, so I can just finish his deck. I play against 3 Malamar in Cannes last weekend. Actually, one is my best friend, and the other two are Nico Alabas and Luca Clavadescher, two of the best players in Europe. But both of them doesn't play Marshadow in the deck, and in a long way that makes the difference. Ok, Lusamine, double Steven. I don't play Unknown, but this will be one of the perfect game that you can win with Unknown. Max Potion. Steven for 1, 2, 3. I don't think I need any other explanation. This is, my opponent has 12 cards remaining in his deck, so Plumeria, I discard 1 and 2. Yeah. I discard of course this one. Okay, one metal, one metal. Max Potion. Steven. For 1, 2. No, I don't want you. I have Nest Ball, so I don't need that. Okay. As you can see, if you don't know what are my hands, what are my cards, you might think, hey, it's just doing nothing. Actually, I don't. I'm doing a lot of things, a lot of actually useful things. Faba, I don't need Faba. Okay. I usually call it control deck because that is actually what I've done. Control the situation. I want to know what my opponent has in the end. So I know now he has no more energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, he has 7, so can wait. My opponent has 8 cards in his deck, and as you can see, we are not playing so a long time. This is interesting. Why is interesting? So I can use Lugia on this Malamar. Viridian, I just discard all the cards I don't need. So against an hypothetical Machado, no more, or Judge, I will not draw the better card, the bad card. Okay, he has no more energy in his deck. This is good to know. Let's see if he has energy in his hand. He got it, one. So maybe he still have the... Maybe he has the... Nah, just wait. Yes, one more psychic. The difference between knock it out my Upa in 2 times or in 3 times is amazing, because if you kill my Upa in 2 times, I can't continue the loop about Lusamine and Acerola. But if you kill me in 3 times, I can just Acerola, Lusamine, Acerola, Lusamine, Acerola, Lusamine for all game long. All game long. MVP Regigigas, 0 damage dealt, but I won. So I talk so much. This is my video. This is my first English video. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. But mostly, I hope you understand what I say, because this is not my mother language. I continue to play my chat, my live in Italian. So if you wanna join us, you're welcome. I always answer to you in English, but I want to keep training the Italian community. So sometimes new video will release in English, some other times they will release in Italian. I'm iCaterpie, and I hope you like it. If you like the video, if you enjoy it, please put a like, subscribe the channel, and see you soon with the next one. Bye guys.